Hi, I am Sarah. I haven't spoken to a lot of you. I'm quite new to the church. My husband and my children joined back in January, so we're quite new. But I'm really, really pleased to be here, and thank you for welcoming us in so well. As I don't know you very well, I thought we could start today with getting to know you a little bit better. Is that okay? Is that okay? Fantastic. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you 5 questions. And these 5 questions, you just need to tell me what you prefer. Okay, can we have the first slide up for me? So the first one is very spiritual. Hope you get ready. Can I have the next slide? Do you prefer cats or dogs? So point in the direction of what you prefer. Cats or dogs? As I said, very spiritual. Oh, I reckon dogs might have it, you know. Hey, okay, team dog. Next slide. Dancing or singing? Oh, you're having both. Okay, I think maybe singing might have it. I don't know, it's quite tight. Okay, next one. For the olders, Facebook or TikTok? Oh, we're actually shouting out Facebook. Oh, so I think maybe, it's not just the younger ones that prefer TikTok. Interesting. Okay, next slide. Netflix or the BBC? Oh, Netflix. Put up your hand if you chose BBC. Oh, massive downslide. Excellent. Love a bit of Netflix. Okay, next one. Last one, Saturdays or Sundays? No judgment at all for your answer? Saturdays or Sundays? Rob Pennell prefers Saturdays? Oh. Amazing. Cool. Thank you for doing that. So today, as Lizzie has said, we are looking at worship. So what is worship? Can I have the next slide up? Worship is what we value most. Louis Gigolo says he defines worship as our response to whatever we value the most in our lives. Challenging? I think that's challenging. So the question is not, do I worship? On a Sunday, do I worship? Am I on the parachute? Am I batting the balloons around? But the question is, what or who do I worship? Because we all worship something. And in the Bible, it talks about if you worship something that's not of God, it's called an idol. Cool. And in 2023, we don't make gold idols necessarily, but there are other things that I think we worship. Now, when I say this is not a judgment thing, because I challenge myself with this. I'm not down with this. But let's have a look at some of these things. Us. How highly do we value our appearance? How highly do we rate our social media likes? How high do we value our abilities? Now, there's nothing wrong with looking good or being able to have a talent at all, but where do we place that? Do we place that higher than God? Challenging. Number 2, materialism. Money, clothes, technology, houses. You know, the Bible says that money is not the problem, but it's our attitude towards it that is. Where do we place that in our lives? Entertainment. Who likes being entertained? Yeah, all of us. And we are in a culture that loves being entertained. But the question is, are we seeking the thrill of entertainment more than we're seeking the glory of God? Challenging, yeah? I'm challenging myself on this as well. And the last one, phones. Shall I stop there? Are we addicted to our phones? You know, smartphone addiction is a thing completely. I have just got a new phone because my phone, I wanted to keep for business. So this is my new personal phone. If I'm not giving you my number, please ask for it. But on this phone, I have no social media. I have no work emails. I have nothing like that. I have no games. And so sometimes I might be like in a supermarket line. I pick up my phone and I'm like, oh, I've had a message from Millie. Hi, Millie. But, you know, I can't scroll on anything. And that's quite uncomfortable. Does anyone remember that 90s thing called boredom? Yeah? When you're waiting in line and you've got nothing to do except talk to the person behind you. We've lost that as our culture. We have lost that. So, a challenge. What do we worship? Maybe for you, the thing that is your biggest challenge is not on this list. So, if there's one guy in the Bible that's known for being a worshipper, who is it? David. So we've already touched on that, but let's have another look at a clip that shows a little bit about what David did. Okay. So David was so excited about bringing the Ark of the Covenant back to Jerusalem. He was just going for it in worship, and he didn't care what people thought of him. Now, was he in his pants and vest? What the Bible says is he's wearing an ephod, and what that means is it's like an undergarment of what a priest would wear. And so actually Michael's problem wasn't that he was showing a little bit too much flesh necessarily, but what her problem was is he came back into Jerusalem carrying the Ark of the Covenant, which was the presence of God, and he wasn't coming in as to his status. He should have been a king. He should have been dressed in all these big robes. He should have come in saying, I am the king. I am bringing this. Celebrate with me. But actually, he came in and he was wearing this linen, can I say dress? This linen thing, which was really freeing, which allowed him to worship God. So why was he wearing that? I think that one reason he could have been wearing that was, I imagine if you're a king, your clothes were probably quite heavy, quite restrictive. But actually, as he was wearing just this linen outfit, he could do whatever he wanted to. He didn't care at that point, I believe, that he was king. But actually, what he cared about was his relationship with God. And so today, I want to bring us a challenge. What do we need to take off? Now, I'm not talking about clothes, okay? But what do we need to take off in order to worship God without holding back? Now, if we go back to that, the slide with all the different things on it, on 2023, maybe there is something on this list that you think, oh, do you know what? I am constantly looking at this too much, and I know this is stopping me worshiping God. Or it might be that actually, you know, I've got other priorities that I need to realign somehow that's stopping me from worshiping God. Maybe it's something else that you think, that thing is great, but actually I've just got it a little bit out of balance. So what is it for you? What we're going to do is, if there are any balloons left, what we're going to do is we're going to do this completely anonymously. What I'd like you to do is write on your piece of paper something that you think is holding you back. Now, this is anonymous. No one is going to see. So you could just write phone on there. Or you could just write my job on there, or whatever it is. Or what people think of me might go on there. Once you have written that, what you need to do is roll it up and put it inside a balloon. I think, this one. This is one I did earlier. So you have it inside the balloon, and you tie the balloon up. I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes to do that. Then we are going to put on a really lively worship track that Caleb has chosen, and we are going to bat the balloons around the room for about a minute. You up for that? Are you up for that? I'm saying you are. When the music stops, I'll count down from 10 to 0. We will burst the balloons. If you have young children or babies, you might not want to be in here at that point. It's up to you. And then we are going to pray for what is on that piece of paper. If you don't have a balloon to burst, or there's nothing in the balloon when you burst it, then just pray for yourself. Everyone happy? Okay, let's do it. There are some spare balloons at the front here if anyone wants one.